I'm a big fan of classic arcade-style shoot-'em-ups, and there's a new one called Ghostblade HD now available on PS4. But does this one end up blasting all the competition, or does it end up just getting hit by a stray bullet? Ghostblade HD originally started as just Ghostblade as a homebrew for the Sega Dreamcast that was released in 2015, many years after that system had unfortunately died. This version has a bump up in the visual department, of course, as well as it still features the same great shoot-'em-up action. The game features 3 selectable ships that each, of course, will have their own distinct pattern when it comes to firing, though the other controls remain the same. You have classic bombs at your disposal, which will be able to take out enemies on screen, do damage to the bosses, but more importantly, take away anything that could potentially harm you, so you become invincible for that brief moment, allowing you to kind of get the upper hand once again in tough situations. Besides the bomb, each ship contains 2 modes of fire. Holding down the normal X button will allow you to fire out your shot, which of course will cover up a large amount of screen depending upon which power-ups you currently have. But you can also hold down square at any time, which will condense the firepower and make it a bit more powerful as well as more direct against enemies, but ends up slowing down your movement speed. Mixing up between these two, of course, will be essential for dodging in and out of bullets while also taking out each enemy. There's a total of 5 levels in the game, and each of them will provide more challenges, different enemies, and of course a boss battle at the end, and then you'll move on to the next stage. And the game also features 3 different difficulties, easy, normal, and hard, with on the easy mode a good entry point as far as learning the enemy patterns and the like, as well as it will save you instantly if you end up getting hit and use one of your bombs instead of losing a life. This, of course, feature is not included on the normal and hard modes. One thing that makes the game extra challenging, though, is you have a limited number of credits at your disposal, and when they run out, it's game over, and you start back from the beginning. So it's going to be a bunch of trial and error and learning patterns in order to get through the game. The action in the game, though, is very intense, and this is what makes it, of course, the most enjoyable. I also found that any of the 3 ships are fun to play as. Usually in a shoot-'em-up with multiple playable characters, I find 1 or 2 that I'm not as big a fan of, but here, any of them were a joy to play as. All the action, though, with all the bullets coming your way, it will take a bit of figuring out how you can kind of sneak through, exactly how big your ship is, so you can dodge in between the most narrow of regions. And with so much stuff going on, points being gathered and power-ups being picked up, there's never a dull moment in any of the 5 levels, even if the game is relatively short. There are a couple of other modes, including 2-player co-op and a score attack mode for you to take on as well, where you have an infinite amount of lives, but your goal is to see how high of a score you're able to rack up before you make it to the end of the level you're currently on. The game also features, though, a practice mode, which is cool. You can set up the scenario any way you like and go into a particular level with a particular ship and a particular amount of lives and see if you're able to get through it. And this even includes the bosses, so you can just practice a boss or an entire level. So this will allow you to really hone your skills while you're trying to take on the normal and hard difficulties and trying to beat it without using that many credits or no credits at all. From the technical side of things, everything ran smoothly. I didn't run into any glitches, slowdown, or crashing of any sort. I also have to say that the music fits everything quite well and is pretty enjoyable to listen to, and in fact there's 2 different versions of the soundtrack as well that you can switch off in the options menu, along with switching around a few other things, including a few wallpapers for the sides of your playing field. Ghostblade HD is available for $9.99, and it does feature a full trophy list including a platinum trophy. This will require beating the game on hard mode, beating it with only using 1 credit, and a few other relatively difficult ones, but playing through it the few times that I have already, I've unlocked quite a lot of the trophies. Overall, I really enjoyed Ghostblade HD. The action is just at the right level for me as a shoot-'em-up fan. There may be some experts out there of the genre that may find Ghostblade HD a little bit easier than necessarily I did, of course, but overall, I felt like the difficulty was just right with that bit of challenge that made things really enjoyable to keep playing the levels over and over again. With a pretty low price point and some nice art visuals. I really like the art style of the characters that are representing each of the ships that you get to pick from. Overall, Ghostblade HD is a good shoot-'em-up. In fact, one of the better ones I played on the PlayStation 4. In the end, I'm going to be giving the game an 8 out of 10. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.